Those that are high riser, fast riser, best in what they do, talented, they are not intelligent. Okay, they might be genius, but it is not by intelligence. Let us go tabula rasa. The discipline you master today becomes the power you will tomorrow. The corporate world is unforgiving, yet it rewards intelligence and mindset control. And this is me saying to you today that you need to work on your habits, your character, your focus, and improve upon the power and control you have over your mindset. When you lead yourself first, the world will have no other option or choice than to follow. We're in a space where for you to achieve any goal within a setup, maybe team, organization, project, you have to be 100%. You have to be a high flyer for you to complement anything that would be called success. You need to be in the space where you are beyond the normal KPI. You are beyond the statutory job description. You need to live in a place where you are dependable, where others can rely on you even when it's not convenient, that you are trustworthy to deliver. That is when you speak within the team and your voice is heard. That is when value begins to follow you, not you, the other. It is imperative that while we are sorting out every day to do well, you first of all start with your morning. Here's the truth. How you start your day defines the tone of your performance professionally for that day. Wake up every morning, reviewing your goals and setting priorities before you open your phone. Own the first 1 hour of that day and see you command the day. If you want to reclaim your day and lead it before it leads you, you have to define how it is before you step into it. Your day can be groovy, your day can be moody, your day can be giddy, your day can be sad. But I'm telling you today that you are responsible for any one of the outcomes. And then how you now usher yourself into the day defines what follows suit, because they're like packs of dominoes. So as a professional, you should guard your day starter. You should look at what are the things, what are the elements in your day that makes your day a certain tone. Is it some kind of music? Is it a book you read? Is it your spirituality? Is it someone you need to talk to? Or is it just you having that goals properly ironed out, categorized and prioritized? Check all of these things and be mindful about it. I always say this: once you are deliberate, you are 50% successful. You have to be intentional about your day. Don't come complaining at COB that today was not really my kind of day. How did you start that day? It matters. The world is a place that is built beautiful for anyone that is ready to take up the opportunity. Because the real promotion starts long before the HR calls you. Look, those that are high riser, fast riser, best in what they do, talented, they are not intelligent. Okay, they might be genius, but it is not by, it is about being deliberate and consistency. They push beyond their normal KPI. They look at 100 as the starting point. They want to always make sure that that task becomes irrelevant, becomes easy peasy. They will fight tooth and nail to ensure that no challenge beats them. They go beyond their job description because initiative is the currency for growth. So you need to always set your own pace. You need to define your own standard. Do you even have a work ethics that your team know you about? Are you the latecomer? Are you the one that always tell the truth? Are you the one that makes things easier? You explain it better. Are you the one that see, the light at the end of the tunnel, the problem solver? Are you the one that takes charge, takes initiative? What are you known for? Do you even have a standard? Oh yes, where you work have a structure, they play with. They have process, they have methodology. But are you defined in a certain way that you can fit into that? I think this is even what every people manager should be looking for. I think this is what you should always ask yourself when you sit in that interview or that job discussion. To say, do my standard, do my ways of doing things fit into this process? Because you either fit in or fit out. Because if you don't fit in and you don't resign, you get fired. So, what I'm saying, you need to be the one that defines how things work. As for Ayodeji David Ajayi, I'm the type that like disruptiveness. I like innovation. If I don't see that in your process, if I don't see that in your methodology or your structure, I won't play politics with you. I'll move elsewhere. Because that is one space where I will thrive. Now ask yourself, I call your name and say, this is what I do best. Improve upon it, learn upon it, become a master in it, and then take it forward into the structure of where you work. Impute it and see what the outcome will be if it's not you leveling up the value. Do not allow things to go by chance. See, your emotions, and this is very, this is imperative for everyone that wants to be an lifestyle. Your emotions are signals, they are not steering wheels. A lot of us allows us to find ourselves in the African bat situation. The African bat philosophy is an explanatory thing where they say for a horse to be beaten by an African bat, they run around several times and they end up dying. They end up dying not from the poison of, being beaten, but they get to die because of the exhaustion they get from running around, the reaction they have to that bite. That's what kills them. So, do not allow mood to set your pace. The difference between an average performer and a leader is consistency. A reliable leader is consistency. When you choose discipline over mood, people will trust you to deliver even when things are not consistent, even when things are not convenient, even when things are incomplete. They see you as someone that would come, take a good breath, and respond forward to pressure. When you anchor yourself with purpose, not emotion, people will mirror the same thing. I've seen in several projects where I've even been in one where, a standard mock-up for product got broken an hour before unveiling. And everyone was looking up to the leader. And all the leader could do is just smile and say, look, can we just take a break, a 30-minute break, have some drink? If you take beer, take beer. If you smoke, smoke. If you drink coffee, just something that comes to now. Let's just have that. And people are like, well, 1 hour to the unveiling. And say, let's do that. And then, everyone complied. And 30 minutes into the recess. He called everyone back and said, you know what? This is the way we're going to unveil it. He got an answer. Because in that moment, he was able to control his emotion and allow people mirror his calmness. They were able to deliver it in less than an hour, and then the unveiling happened as it should, without anyone noticing. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It is being trusted to be able to deliver. Because your end goal is to lead. So accountability for you will transform chaos into credibility. Build your freedom through ownership. Because every future leader you see today was once a teammate that everyone could rely on. Yeah. Leadership starts with service, and excellence in every little task is a strategic impact for a defined goal. When you are in that space of complementing deliverables and KPIs, getting job done, you'll be noticed, in the boardroom, and decision makers will begin to look your way. You need to lead from wherever you stand. You'll be surprised if I say, even your guard is a leader. He needs to take ownership within that space. So think for the company, address matters, see challenges and prefer solutions, even before taking it to superior. Do all things with diligence, because what doing is what doing well, right? And this now becomes an habit. Remember I said that discipline, you master today becomes a power you tomorrow. Because we're talking about your mind, be the calm in every storm. Practice your tone and breathing before you respond to pressure. I always tell my colleagues and friends that your clients, your superior, your colleagues, your subordinate, even your third-party vendors, they mirror your emotion. When you're in disarray, forget the pretense. When you're calm, you see through the challenges and get to be able to prefer a solution. Not necessarily you, but even someone that can prefer. That is when you're being accountable. You have to be quieter when pressure rises, because that's what professionals do. They don't get louder. You are not a whistleblower. You might be in charge of the end value management. You might be the change management controller. But then, what do you do when pressure comes? When things are not going according to plan? Which is one thing you should have done far before even that happened. Practice your response to pressure. Companies will tell you we want someone that works well under pressure. What they're just saying is someone that is calm under pressure. They don't mean that when pressure, you should always expect pressure and you should just be sorry, running helter-skelter, putting everybody on their toes, and nobody's achieving anything. What they are actually asking for is someone that can meander out of that storm unscathed, and that can help the team still achieve their goal. Why do you think there's a word called alternative measures? Why do you think from good there's better and from better there's best? Because there's always the biggest room in the world is the room for what's it called, improvements, for development. There's always a way to improve. Can you see it? People go out every day working with their team to become a garbage in, garbage out person. No, that is not who you are, because every day you should level up your value at work. And how do you do that? It is by being composed, improving, your mind intact. It is by helping others, helping yourself, being best at what you do. Picking up a task, knowing definitely there are going to be imperfections or setbacks or lags. But also, why you have that? Because to every positivity, there's negativity. To every start, there's an end. There are two sides to almost everything and a nine perspective to it. It's just you not really taking, a closer look. Once you have this kind of paradigm, it helps you approach anything with an open mind, but a mind that is ready to achieve, a mind that is ready to grow, a mind that is ready to deliver on purpose. I've seen vendors or agencies, contractors turn down jobs, not just because of the risks, the amount of risks within that project, but the risks of failure or the risks of not being able to attain set targets. So they rather avoid it, which is one of the risk management, what's it called, a plan. They rather avoid it, transfer it to someone they feel they could. In any case, mitigate it, that means they want to work on it. Now, when everyone in the Greek mythology goes to Delphi, the Delphi oracle, to inquire about things, at the end of the day, the Delphi oracle always asks, know thyself. In the whole of all of the things that I've said from the beginning to now, it's about you. You have to be 100%. You have to be a high flyer for you to complement anything. You shouldn't be the weakest link. You see, a chain is as strong as the weakest link. You shouldn't be that. No, that's you shouldn't be. Yes, you can start to be, but you shouldn't be. You can start at the level, but you shouldn't remain there. Because if you improve every day, little by little, section by section, topic by topic, skill by skill, tool by tool, trend by trend, strategy or insight by strategy and insight. At the end of 365 days, in 3 years or 5 years, you will remain that weakest. The marketplace pays more for people that learn continuously. And that's why there's a word out there, especially in quality management, Kaizen, continuous improvement. Little changes across all the section of the project, across the team, you as an individual, across what you are, what you know, how you do things, how you approach matters. Over time, and mastery. And mastery is what makes you loud in boardroom. Mastery is the reason why you can walk to a people's manager or your HR and demand for a raise and get it. But it's not a thing you can amass in a day. So that end goal you have, break them into smaller packages and begin to win those battles so you can win the war at them. Study your way to significance. And one of the mistakes we always make is by study is not necessarily you sitting down at the four walls of academic institution. That is also necessary. But you can study from experience. You can have learning curves across all your projects. That's why it's good to always track your success and your failure. It's good to remind your mind of how you got to where you are. Then you can get significant studies from academic institutions, professional institutions, just to have a global view of that your elaborate learning curve. It is imperative that you don't just learn, that you also transform this learning into action, because that's when you try out what you've learned, your knowledge. Strategy is a non-entity until it's been activated. Quickly, for me not to pull you out of context. I see people get demoted without being demoted. You've been on the job for a very long time, and boom, your management just thought about bringing someone to lead your department and earn more than you do. And you begin to ask yourself, what does this person have that I lack? It's knowledge. Simple. Oh, you have experience. He has knowledge. Your knowledge is myopic. His is global, or hers is global. So while you're trying to get all of this experience, you also need to understand what is the industry standard, what is the national standard, your regional standard, your continental standard, and the ocean view to what you do. This makes you relevant anywhere in the world. So while you are amassing experience, also try to amass global standard, global knowledge, global practice. How it's been done, collectively across the world. That makes you stand out. That makes you eligible for promotion long before the HR even calls. Yeah, long before the HR calls. You're sure? You go about competing with others when really what you should do is compete with yourself. Do not at any time consider those before you, beside you, or subordinate. Consider yourself. You need to compete fiercely with your previous self. That is what you should be concerned about. Your previous success should be the beginning of your journey. Get better at what you're doing. Remind yourself how you got here, that you've earned every reason to be here, but then that this is just a stepping stone to the next step. Right? What is it that you need to move further? Oh, okay. So you were given a target of 85% strike rate, and you're at 100 and you think you're a high flyer. Look, you just started. Because the next person to break your record is coming with 101, and then you're in trouble. So it means your 100 is as good as achieved and done. You need to move further. Now, in the midst of this, do not allow doubt to set in, because doubt is the biggest convenient liar in any office. So you need to kill down evidence. Set a track record of what you've achieved and tell fear how far you've come. Competency grows louder when proof replaces insecurity. I don't know how you say this, but confidence is not a derivative of ego. It's a result of evidence. Let your results speak louder than any fear. So every day of your life, be in that space where you're trying to recreate success stories that becomes your accumulated wealth. Because the law of accumulation says everything you do, the little ones, amasses to become a major event. So it's either they're moving you towards your goal or away from your goal. So when you wake up every morning and you set the tone for the day, you know what you want to achieve is success. And you know that success is going to be tracked by you, for you, to remind you of how far you come, and then you're still going further. You need to be in that space where you are your own competition. You need to be the good, the bad, and the ugly of yourself. The good and bad cop as well. While one is chastising, the other is encouraging. Because there's no room for complacency. And complacency always comes from too much of not tracking, not evaluating, and not controlling. A lot of people will think, when you're successful, you just feel you're up there are no issues. Let me bring a story that you will love to hear. Some time ago, 2 decades or 3 decades ago, a certain techie company somewhere around the world was a leader when it comes to mobile phone. Now, a lot of people will relate this my story to complacency, that was why, they fall off, the shelf, and then some other players are the ones who live right. But that wasn't what really happened. Yes, that complacency was not from the fact that they were the best in the world there. The complacency was from the fact that they didn't track their success. Evaluate it against where they started from and where they want to go against their goal. And then set control to ensure that their complete performance index is in line with their goal. They become fattening up there. And that goal that they had to remain, world leader for, I don't know as long as it should be, was truncated by people that was able to research them out, see how they do things and where they're likely and what people want, and they provided that and food. Funny enough, the second their successors repeated the same thing. And so it kept going on until we finally have two now that are not letting go, that have learned from that. And every time they try to beat yourself, they try to be a better version of what they used to be in the marketplace. Today we celebrate them. Most of us, even consumers, had, die-hard loyal consumers. That is what you should be. Track your record. Remind yourself of how far you've come, how far you want to go, and setting the controls, which is for improvement for you to get there. Never settle. Even if you're at 1,000%, it's still the beginning as far as you're concerned. It is important that if you desire something, that you become deliberate about it. It is also important that you become your greatest fan. You become the one that motivates yourself more, chastise yourself more, tell yourself the truth more, evaluate yourself more before they call you in for that appraisal or that personal development program. Do you have one yourself? Is your week built upon what I want to achieve this week? Or are you the type that, what do you have for me to achieve for you this week? Yes, salary and a wage eater. What can transform you from a mere staff to an entrepreneur, a partner, and an owner are the things I've said to you. Every other thing, they are the foundation. Every other thing relies on them. Because if yourself is not intact, if you don't lead yourself first, nothing follows. Just go like that. So I challenge you today to look inward before you look outward. Check yourself first. Be in the right space. Become the round peg before you begin to look for the round hole. Become the square peg before you begin to look for the square hole. Be that person that is reliable, that is trustworthy, to deliver on a certain level or a particular advantage. I like that one. I'll see you in my next pastor class. Am I your David Ajayi, the brand ambassador?